Most creators are just one offer away from $20,000 a month. And in this video, I want to share with you what I would do or what I recommend for those of you who are stuck in this world of thinking more followers, more engagement, more posts, more content will somehow eventually turn into the business that you want to create for the lifestyle you want to live. See, for the first 5 years of my career, between 2017 and 2022, I fully bought into this idea that if I just keep going down the path, if I just keep making more content, if I just keep driving up engagement, if I keep focusing on incrementally improving these metrics that I thought were the most important, that it would somehow eventually turn into the business that I wanted. All the way back in 2017, I was a personal trainer. And at the time, I dreamt of financial freedom, location freedom, time freedom. And I thought the best way to do that was with an online business. And so I got to work trying to build my personal brand, posting content, meticulously trying to improve how I was doing things, improving my engagement, and it actually worked. And that's the trap of doing this, and why so many creators run the wrong race is because it actually feels like you're doing the right thing. It feels like if you gain more followers, if you get more traffic, if you gain more of an audience, that will eventually turn into a business, without realizing that having an audience does not mean you have a business. All it means is you have a bunch of people who know who you are. That will never accidentally turn into a business, but so many creators are so fixated on improving these numbers, like I was between 2017 and 2022, to the point where they're actually struggling to make money. At the time, for those first 5 years of my own career, I actually ran an entirely separate freelance videography business on the side that no one in my audience knew about, just so I could make money, eat, and pay my rent each month, so I could then spend the little spare time that I had focused on making more content. So much so that I was working harder than most business owners, because I thought that if I just make enough money here, that I can fuel the time that I need to work on this thing over here, that eventually this thing will get big enough to stop me from having to do this. But what I didn't realize is that I was just feeding metrics that were never going to eventuate into an actual business. And so I empathize with where some of you are at, where you're running this wrong race and so fixated on improving these numbers because it feels like you're doing the right thing. It feels like, hey, I gained 1,000 followers this month or 5,000 followers this month. That must be improving my prospects or my chances of building the life and the business that I want, without realizing that that's never going to eventuate into the business that you want without actually having a business attached to that audience. The missing ingredient here to actually turn this into something that can sustain the lifestyle that you want to make, give you the income, allow you to live the life that you actually want to live, isn't more content, it's not more followers, it's not more engagement, it's one winning offer. And that's the key thing here, is that having an audience does not mean that you have a business, and more followers are not going to make you more money unless you have something to sell to those followers. See, if you can make this one pivotal shift to shift your focus away from engagement, away from followers, away from making more content, and towards actually creating a business that utilizes the audience that you're building, utilizes the traffic that you're building, it'll completely shift the way that you do this. Because that is the one crucial difference between the creator with 10,000 followers making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month and the creator with hundreds of thousands of followers barely able to make $10,000 a year. One has a business driving the direction of the audience that they're building. The other is driven entirely by building an audience, hoping that it'll turn into income. On this side, you're essentially a glorified contractor selling yourself to the highest bidder. If your income is dependent on anything other than your own inputs for your own customers, you do not have a business. And I can't emphasize this point enough before I move on to the rest of this video, that having an audience does not necessarily mean that you have a business. And the moment you can fully buy into this, the moment you can really genuinely realize, hey, I have to actually have a business. I have to have an offer. I have to have customers. I have to have leads. I have to have all the things that generate income, and then use my audience to drive traffic to that business. That is when you actually have a creative business. Because once you have that one winning offer driving everything else that you do, it'll create total clarity and freedom in your life. Because that one offer will give you 4 key things that'll completely shift your mentality towards this work. Number 1 is it'll give you a clear intention for your content. No longer are you just praying that your content will generate views or go viral or build more followers. Now you'll be posting with intention, because you'll have a clear idea of the goal in posting that content. I know with total clarity every single time I post a video that I'm trying to connect with the type of creator that would be interested in doing business with me through my business time to build. And as long as I'm working towards that goal, I'm confident that I'm working effectively. This is why so many creators get sucked into things like rage bait. This is why so many creators get sucked into trends. This is why so many creators get burnt out, because they're completely directionless. They have no real intention for their content except to gain more followers. And so they're pulled in whatever direction the algorithm or the audience pulls them in that day. Sometimes that means they create content that doesn't actually serve the audience that they want to serve or serve the mission that they're trying to create. And so they end up in this spot where their content doesn't reflect them, their goals, or anything that they actually want to do. It's just a reflection of the direction that the algorithm and their audience has pulled them in. I see so many creators and I want to grab them by the collar and shake them and go, hey, posting rage bait, I know it gets you more traffic and it gets you more audience and it fuels your ego and makes you feel good about yourself, but it is never going to eventuate into a business unless you have a real intention behind it. Chasing trends, it might make you feel good and it might get you more followers and it might boost your ego for this week, but it is never going to eventuate into a business unless you have a real intention behind that content. Number 2, it'll give you a clear and effective funnel. And I know funnel has become this term that is so overused in this space, and it's also become a marketing trick or a marketing gimmick for creators. And so if you ever see anyone use the term funnel in a way to confuse you, run for the fucking hills, because all a funnel is the process of taking someone from a viewer of your content to a customer in your business. And you can have 1 step between that, 2 steps between that, 3 steps between that, whatever. In the context of you watching this video for my own funnel, I'm hoping that you've seen maybe my face before in a short form piece of content. And so when this thumbnail popped up and you saw my face again, you recognized it enough to click. Now you're, 5 or 6 minutes into this video, you're engaged in this enough that you are now building trust with me. And eventually at the end of this video or at the end of another video in the future, you will become a lead in my business, either through a lead magnet or by joining my application funnel. From there, I will then try to sell to you on email to eventually get you into my program. From there, I'm hoping that the program is effective enough to create results in your business, so much so that you want to continue working with me and my team, and you'll eventually become an ongoing client. That is my own funnel. It's not very complicated. It's very easy to understand. But having that clear direction, having that clear goal with my content completely changes my mentality for this work. Number 3 is you'll be able to create predictable income. No longer will you be beholden to a sponsorship request showing up in your inbox and hopefully paying you enough to pay your rent this month, or the AdSense rates of the day being enough from your YouTube videos being viral enough for you to make an income, or the half a dozen different affiliate deals you've got from different companies throwing you scraps on the side for promoting their product and selling for them. You'll be able to create predictable income because you know exactly what you need to do in order to make the amount of money you want to make. I know exactly how much money my business is going to make over the next 12 months from the high end, mid-range, and low range, depending on the numbers we do in terms of views, in terms of leads, and in terms of conversions. And that gives me the confidence to then invest in my business. That gives me the confidence to then hire teams so I know I can be more effective in those areas and then maximize and hopefully get to the high end of our predicted revenue. And the kind of freedom and confidence that gives you as a business owner is unmatched. So many of the creators that I speak to and consult on a daily basis, whether it be through my program in the beginning stages when they're getting onboarded, or just in DM messages and comments in these videos and all that sort of stuff. So many of those creators are so terrified of scaling their business, so terrified of hiring, because they have no control over their income. And so the money that they've made this month has no bearing on the money that they're going to make next month. And so the idea of giving a portion of that revenue to another person to help their business is terrifying, because in their mind, they're starting from zero next month. And so bringing someone else into their business means that they're going to have to work twice as hard in order to create the same results they made this month. Whereas for me, I know that if I can bring someone into my business who's amazing at operations and then gives me all of that time back to focus on more content, and then with more content, we get more traffic into our lead funnels and then get more leads and then get more conversions and then make more sales, we will make more revenue based on that exact hire. And that gives me enormous confidence. And number 4 is you've got clear metrics to track. When your entire focus is on how many views you got this month, or how many viral posts you got, or how many story views, or how much engagement you got, or how many subscribers you've got, those are unpredictable and extremely volatile metrics that will sway your behavior, they'll sway your emotions, they'll sway how you feel about yourself on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. But when you run an actual business and you've got a clear set of metrics to track, it'll completely change the way that you emotionally handle your business. Because now you don't need your next post to go viral. You just need to get enough views, that you get enough leads, that you get enough conversions, and you get enough sales to make the amount of revenue in order to pay your team, pay yourself, and build a business. The next thing I want to talk about, and I want to show you this visually, is you don't need nearly as many followers as you think in order to make $20,000 a month. And I'm going to show you this with real numbers from my own business combined with the goal revenue of $20,000 a month from your business in a realistic offer, not thousands and thousands of dollars for one client. No, a realistic offer for you, which is going to be a $50 a month program where you keep people on average for 10 months, which is a 10% churn rate, which is very realistic. And so with this goal of $20,000 a month from a $50 membership where you've got a 10% churn, meaning that you're making $500 per customer, I'm going to combine this with my real numbers from my real business. And so my email list currently, emails convert at 13.6%, meaning that 13.6% of new emails in the last 30 days have turned into customers. Then for every unique account that my Instagram reaches, 1.4% of those join my email list. And so my unique accounts to emails equals 1.4%. And these are real. Then for every video view I get, 24% of those are unique and new accounts on average. And to figure out this math, the last number we need is how many new customers you need each and every month in order to maintain $20,000 a month. And so with the goal of $20,000 and a $50 a month product with an average churn of 10%, meaning that you're keeping people for 10 months and making $500 per customer, you would need 40 new customers per month for 10 months to get to that $20,000 mark. And then you would need to maintain 40 new customers every single month in order to maintain that number long term. And so let's say you need 40 new customers per month. And so with these real numbers, 40 new customers divided by 0.136, meaning 13.6%, equals 294 new emails per month needed in order to get 40 customers. Then with 294 new emails divided by 0.014 or 1.4%, that equals 21,000 unique accounts in order to reach 294 email addresses. Then with 21,000 unique accounts divided by 0.24, that equals 87,500 video views per month in order to reach 21,000 unique accounts per month. Then to get the daily number, we take 87,500 times 12 divided by 365, and we get 2,875 video views per day, meaning that you need 2,875 video views per day in order to make $20,000 a month consistently. 2,875 video views and one winning offer is a hell of a lot more achievable than doing the equivalent amount of revenue from sponsorships, affiliates, or any other assortment of different things that most creators are chasing. See, if you have this system in place, your entire focus can be placed on hitting these numbers, these achievable, trackable, and repeatable numbers. Instead of worrying about going viral or the trends of the day or the algorithm or is your account shadow banned or any of these fucking bullshit things that most creators worry about, instead of worrying about any of that, you can focus entirely on hitting these numbers. And the confidence that gives you as a business owner and as a creator and the sustainability that gives you to continue doing this over a longer period of time is completely life-changing. Can you see how this could completely change your approach and your emotional relationship with content and business? Because business at the end of the day is just knowing your numbers and then meticulously trying to incrementally improve them. The main thing I wanted to get across to you today is that building a business that can actually create the freedom that you want, the financial freedom, the time freedom, the location freedom, everything that you want, the lifestyle you want to live, the way that you actually create that business is not on the other side of more followers, more engagement, more likes, more views. It's never going to eventuate if you continue to focus entirely on those things. The real thing that's going to make all the difference and actually move the needle for you is creating one winning offer and then focusing your entire content strategy, your entire personal branding strategy around maximizing that one winning offer. And by the way, this is literally step by step what we teach our students to do inside Time to Build. And so if you're interested in putting together your one winning offer and building a personal brand and a content ecosystem that maximizes achieving this goal, then click the link in the description and I would encourage you to join us for Time to Build. I hope this video helps and I'll see you in the next one.